Smooth 98.1. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are, 16 minutes gone past 5 o'clock on a Thursday evening. And this is Smooth Health. And what a conversation we are about to have. I have managed to drag Dr. Cassandra Akinde, from her busy schedule. The tropical doctor, you might know her as. And she's also the doctor who has been big on self care in recent times, which I absolutely love. And I said, we must bring you in just for this personal connection to it. Hi, Dr. Cassie. How you doing? Welcome once again.
Hi, Sope. Thank you so much for the invitation, and I am grateful for you dragging me.
People, you don't understand. It was she's been so busy that it has been. I was like, no, you know what? I don't care. She's busy, but I'm gonna bring her in, and we managed to do it, and I love it. Now, make sure you join this conversation. Let us know your feelings about self care, whether you think it has any sort of benefit to your health, because that's what we're going to be talking about. And you can send your WhatsApp messages in to 0809 440 You can also go up on Twitter, use the hashtag smoothhealth981 to get your thoughts in. We are live right now on youtube.com/smooth981fm. Make sure you go over there and you see the faces behind the voices. Okay, so let's get straight into this. So first of all, actually, before we get into the conversation, Dr. Cassie, lots has been happening for you. Can you take us through that? Because I have been stalking her Instagram, and she's been doing a lot. Yeah. And congratulations on picking up your award.
Thank you so much, Sope. I really appreciate that.
So now we say we should have added before, but now we've been reminded to add award-winning doctor. Go ahead.
Thank you so much for the introduction. Yeah, I mean it has been quite busy couple of months for me. I've been working a lot, trying to implement some projects for my organization, for the non-profit organization that I head, which I became promoted to executive director.
Amazing.
So I used to be a team lead, now I'm the executive director, so great.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Then I also got a new position as a research coordinator on a new study with the organization that I'm currently working in, which is Henry Jackson Foundation. So now I'm a research coordinator for a monkeypox study, mpox study here in Nigeria.
Oh wow.
So we're currently preparing to start the research.
Amazing. Okay. Now, a few weeks ago, you said this. She posted up on Instagram, and she said, it is very important to create time for maintaining self-care and well-being. And this was a post that made me say, you've got to come in and let's talk about this. So you talked about how you were battling several health conditions, and as a medical professional, you should have known better how to lead a healthier lifestyle and take care of your mental health. And really, that is just such a fantastic introduction to the topic, because really every time I talk about self-care here, I get a little pushback on whether or not it is necessary to our health. And yeah, let's talk about this. So the first question I want to ask you is, as we always do on Smooth Health, we start off with the basics. What is self-care, and also why is self-care important to our overall health and well-being?
Okay, so thank you very much for that question. So self-care, I mean, simply put, it means taking care of oneself, right? And that means to make sure that you are healthy, you are well, you can do your job, you can take care of others, right? And most importantly, you can accomplish all the activities you set up for yourself for that particular day. That's what self-care is all about.
Okay.
But if we are going technical, let's talk about World Health Organization's definition too, so that everything is clear. So the definition for World Health Organization is the ability of an individual, families, or communities to promote health, maintain health, and prevent disease with or without the support of a healthcare worker. So that's the definition for World Health Organization.
Okay. And as to its importance to our overall health and well-being now.
Yes, so it's extremely important. So let me just, by way of introduction, explain what was happening to me at that point in time. So we all know that stress is everywhere. I mean, stress is basically our life.
You don't need to go looking for it. It will find you.
Exactly, it will find you. And so though our body is equipped to handle small doses of stress. Um, at the same time, when it's too much of stress, our body can't exactly handle it, and we have to find ways to cope with it.
Mm.
And so when we how do we cope with it? We need to find the best coping mechanism, and that's where effective self-care comes in.
Okay. So, just to put this out there, hopefully you were tuned in for last week's edition of Smooth Health, because we talked about stress and its effects on your health. So this is really like a two-handed now. This is the second part of it. So we talked about the effects of stress on your health. Now we talk about how to incorporate self-care to make sure that you don't get those effects on your health. All right, now, how can practicing self-care help to reduce stress and anxiety in our daily lives? As you've already introduced stress.
Okay, so I think I need to give a bit of background to the physiology of stress,
Okay.
because it's important to understand what actually happens
Mm.
to one. So, for example, let's just say currently maybe I have so many deadlines, I have so many things to do. So what happens is that there is a response to this stress,
Mm.
and so there is a chemical reaction in my body. Yeah, I'm going to use myself.
Okay.
There's going to be a chemical reaction in my body that will
Mm.
produce a substance called cortisol, which is called the stress hormone.
Yeah.
Okay, and so when that particular substance is high in the body,
Mm.
right, what it does is that it's going to increase the glucose metabolism in the body. It's going to increase your heart rate. It's going to increase your blood pressure. It's going to make your muscles tight. It's going to also increase your breathing pattern. So all those things happen,
Mm.
right? And so sometimes when you are in, like I explained at the beginning, that in small doses our bodies can cope well to
Yeah.
the response. However, when there's a uh, long-term exposure, then there are some consequences
Mm.
of
So
that
it's
on our
basically
health.
too much of a good thing is bad for you.
Too much of a good thing, no, too
Is
much of a bad thing, because stress, it's, I mean, there's low dose of stress, that's okay, our bodies can handle it,
because
but
I'm thinking
longer
about the
exposure,
effects. Because some of
yeah.
the effects that come, like increased cortisol, over the short term can be good. Like if it's giving you, because I know when I was speaking with Dr. Andy Martins last week, we talked
Hmm.
about some of the things that the adrenaline pumping through your system and all of that gives you extra strength in like a short time frame. You
Yes.
know, so we talked about that classic example of like a mother being able to lift a car off her child. So
Yeah.
that's what I mean by the good.
Yeah,
But
so
then when it's
that's,
now over a long
yeah,
period of time,
exactly. So that's cortisol and even adrenaline that we're
Mm.
talking about, the stress
Mm.
hormones. So of course, over time, now there are certain things that can happen to our bodies. For example, physical symptoms. You might now start having headache. You might have low energy.
Mm.
You might not be able to sleep well, right? In terms of psychological symptoms, you might not be able to eat well, or you might even be eating too much, right? Or sometimes,
Mm.
in my own case, sometimes you can start pulling your hair because you are
Huh?
so anxious. Yes,
You
you
were
can be,
pulling? Oh, wow.
yeah, you can be pulling your hair, or you can be, biting your nails. So those are the little things that can come. Sometimes in some other um more serious patterns, sometimes it can even affect, like in a woman now, it can affect her menstrual um period. It will not be so regular because she's undergoing lots of stress, and she has
Mm.
allowed herself to get to that point where it's too much. And so that's why effective self-care is so important, to be able to battle it. And
Mm.
for you to be able to battle it, what happens is that you need to find a way to promote the other hormones, which is the feel good hormones.
Ooh,
Yeah,
now
to
we're
be able to
talking.
balance the cortisol and adrenaline, and that's the dopamine and endorphins.
Okay. Yeah. See, when you talk about dopamine now, I don't want to ask, is social media a good stress buster?
Oh
Is
no,
it
it's
good for
it's
self-care? Because doesn't
it's
that release dopamine?
in some
She
cases,
asks.
in some cases, but the social media, it has its advantages and disadvantages.
Mm.
So sometimes it can be a feel good, sometimes it can be, too much stress, you're overwhelmed, you see other people, you're wondering, what are you doing?
True story. All right, so let's talk about some effective self care strategies now, those that can improve our mental health and our emotional well being.
Yeah, so first important thing to take note of it is that you need to prioritize yourself. If you love yourself, you will take care of yourself. And so if you love yourself and you take care of yourself, that means you're going to have good nutrition. You're going to exercise. You're going to sleep well.
Mm,
Yeah.
that sleep is so
You're
key.
going to take a break
Yeah.
from varieties of things. You're
Mm,
going to what have you take your like you can actually take yourself out, right? You can practice self relaxation. You can even take yourself to a spa and have fun.
even remove yourself from the your normal circumstances, right?
Hmm.
So it doesn't even need to be anything major like, oh, let's go on a holiday. It can just be, let me not be in this same house that I've
Exactly.
been in.
Just go out, spend time with friends, spend time with family, even spend time with your pets. I have a pet,
Mm.
and my pet is really a source of joy to me.
Ah, lucky you. Some pets are that stress. Not gonna put, just putting that out there.
And of course, breathing mechanism, you need to be able to learn how to breathe well, and of course, meditation. I
Mm.
mean, yoga is very important. And sometimes even, green spaces, nature walk, and what have you.
Now, what would you say about this? Because I feel like some people hear meditation and immediately think, oh, frou hippies. This is not for normal people.
Well, what I think is that it's a way for you to actually increase your focus on something,
Okay.
and most importantly, be aware of what's going on. It's like self-discipline, like mind over matter,
Mm.
mind over matter, yeah, mind over body, basically.
Mm.
You be able to discipline your mind to focus on something, right? And live wherever you are, and just in your mind know that, okay, this is what's going on and this is what you should focus on, maybe positive thoughts instead of thinking about varieties of things that you have to do.
Mm. Well, that's where, yeah, you're right. That is where the meditation comes in, because it can be kind of hard when you want to focus on positive thoughts. The negative ones will just be circling around you like vultures. We're ready for you. Let's just pounce. But so, what are some of the strategies that you personally find to be extremely useful?
If I find extremely useful, so of course, number one is that I make sure I sleep very well. I don't joke with my sleep. There
Mm.
used to be times where, yes, I used to be one of those night crawlers. I hardly slept.
I love
But
it.
by the time, that's why, I felt sick in the end,
Mm.
because all my, stressful behavior caused me to get sick, basically. So
Right.
sleeping well helped. I signed up for gym classes, and I have now really exercised regularly, because, sometimes we say, okay, let me just go to the gym, but you don't actually go to the gym regularly. You just go once in a week. But I actually went every day after work.
Oh wow.
Yeah, at the beginning it was tough, but later on I started feeling these endorphins that people talked about, that you are feeling so
The
accomplished
gym
at the end of the
high.
day. Exactly.
Yes.
I also made sure I focused on my nutrition
Mm.
much better, well balanced nutrition. So I made sure that I took more of stress relieving foods.
What are stress relieving foods?
Fruits, vegetables,
Are you talking about a healthy diet? You're
exactly.
trying to sneak in a healthy diet on us.
Yes,
Mm.
it's very, very necessary. Specifically, even omega-3 fats, they
Okay.
actually help a lot, because they help in the production of these hormones that I
Oh,
mentioned.
really?
Exactly.
Can you just take the supplements?
Supplements.
Hmm. Just asking for a friend.
You can take supplements, of course. You can take your cod liver oil.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't have to go and.
But just make sure you have omega-3.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very
Okay.
important.
Just wanted to make sure I didn't have to go and stare a fish in the eye and say, I'm eating you tonight.
So another thing I do is I also make sure, because I mean, I'm currently in the country now, so sometimes you would like to go to one of those green spaces, but
Mm.
there's limits to that. But I still make sure that I do attend conservation centers. Like Lofasi Nature
Mm.
Park is one of my favorites.
Okay.
Recently, I even discovered this place, Shodex Garden.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't
Okay.
even know it existed. So I mean, green spaces actually help. They improve your mood,
Mm.
and of course, spending time with friends, catching up. All
Mine
those things
is
help.
less green spaces, although I do love green spaces. Don't love the insects they bring, but I love the green spaces. But mine is actually the water. So by going by the sea and just like feeling the ocean spray,
You love it, right?
that's
Well,
it.
anything
The
that works for you
wind,
is fine.
yeah. Just find that thing that brings you that bliss. All right, we need to take a quick break, but we'll be back with more on this conversation on self care and its health benefits.
Health on the drive.
This
Ooh.
stuff makes me hot, man.
Health on the
The headphones?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's the first time I've heard that about headphones. So we've got a quick 1 minute break where we get to talk about things. So this is lovely. I was watching.
Okay, so it's you can see it actually. Oh my
This
god.
is. Oh my
Shonex
goodness.
Garden is that place that has like an ostrich at Anthony.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I recently discovered it. I didn't even know.
Yeah, I used to live around that area, and
I
I
used
got
to always
to know
just see
them.
one ostrich trying to pop his head out.
Yeah.
But I've never entered inside the place.
So funny enough, I think maybe there's some ostriches. No, they couldn't have escaped from there. But around Maryland, when they're in an estate, there are just ostriches. So I used to go for walks in this Maryland estate, and there'll just be a family of ostriches just roaming about the place. Don't know where it came from. Yeah.
Maybe they are rescued animals because you'll be surprised.
Well, they're living beautiful, free lives, and nobody has eaten them yet. For that, I'm grateful.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah, because this is Lagos. I've seen animals disappear.
This is Smooth Health on the Drive.
All right, and we're going
Trying
Actually, they're just putting
I'm trying to look for a way.
that my face is showing.
live.
Yes,
Studio.
My face hasn't been showing all this while.
it has, but
Smooth 98.1, and here we are back for the second half of this conversation on Smooth Health about the health benefits of practicing a little self care. Dr. Cassandra Akinde in the studio with me, Sope Martins. You might know her as the Tropical Doctor, and she is somebody who has personally felt the benefits of self care practice and its health benefits. So before we went on a break, she was telling us about how, she had to find her bliss in the green spaces and go to the gym every day of the week, apparently, or at least every weekday at the very least. I've not yet gotten to your level. I'm at 3 days a week, and that's the cap. So you can join this conversation by sending your WhatsApp messages into 0809 440 We are streaming live up on youtube.com/smooth981fm Lagos, which means that you can leave your comments on the live chat where it says say something is where you can type to say something and join the conversation. All right, now getting back into the conversation. So we've talked about mindfulness and we've talked about meditation and we talked about some of these simple self-care practices that we can incorporate into our daily routines. Now let's talk about nutrition. I know you said a healthy meal and these are stress relieving foods. We need to talk about it some more. So apart from omega-3, that's why you said omega-3 fats can really help produce some of these stress busting was it hormones?
Hormones.
Yes, hormones in our body. What else should we be looking at to have that nutrition come into play?
Yeah, so most importantly, well balanced diet, enough fruits, enough vegetables, drinking enough water, taking your daily multivitamins. All these things are very necessary.
Okay. Um, so how exactly does it play into that self-care routine, the nutrition aspect? I suppose I'm not really when I say I'm not really getting it, I obviously know that we should, because it feels very abstract, like yeah, you should eat a healthy balanced meal just for your optimum health. But why the why would you say okay, for example, if I feel like a little me time is having my giant bowl of ice cream, it makes me feel better.
Yeah.
So why would I have to eat fruits instead?
No, no one is saying you shouldn't eat your ice cream. I mean, if that's what you like, but of course, you have to do it. Not every day. You can take maybe once in a month or something.
Tell that to my ice cream store. They know me by name.
Well,
I
I mean, definitely you can take. You can treat yourself. No one's saying you shouldn't treat yourself, right? But it is important for you to also make sure that you are well nourished, and most importantly, your immunity is optimal. Because when stress occurs, like I explained before, the cortisol level increases and it has its own effect on the body. And in long term, when you expose yourself for long term to stress, of course your body system is going to fail you, and that's when you might start having frequent infections, having frequent colds and all those type of things. So that's why it's very important for you to have adequate nutrition so that you can produce enough of those hormones to be able to counteract the effects.
Okay, so that's where the nutrition part of the self care routine comes in, because I was trying to figure it out. Like, so it's over the long term, right?
Yeah, so the long term.
Okay, okay. All right. That makes more sense now. All right. We move on. We move on. So, how does spending time in nature and getting outside actually help to improve our mood and our overall sense of well-being?
Okay, so research have actually shown that green spaces, right, like even gardening, all those type of activities, actually what they do is that they increase the production of endorphins and dopamine in our bodies. And so that's what it does, right, in the body. It makes us feel good, it makes us happy, and most importantly, it improves our mood. So just by spending 15 minutes in nature, right,
Mm.
your mood is going to improve instantly.
Oh wow.
It's a fact.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. Now, there's something that I recently found out about, and I shared actually on, um, I think it was sometime last week. And there's this thing, or this interesting branch of science. Have you ever heard about grounding or earthing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you think about that? Because when I think about what you said about spending time in nature, so if you were not with me for one of my 5 at 5s, grounding is where basically you take off your shoes and you go and kind of, well, if I'm wrong, please at any point tell us, Dr. Cassie. But you take off your shoes and you like walk around on the soil, on the earth, plant your feet in the earth, and spend like 15 minutes, daily connected to the earth. And apparently that's supposed to have some sort of amazing effect on your health. I mean, what do you think about that?
All I know is that it definitely makes some people feel good. It's just
Mm.
like, for example, in mudding too. Some people go for mudding therapy, and just that contact with mud makes people happy. So it depends how whatever makes people good, make people feel good.
Mm.
You understand?
Okay.
So whatever works for you.
Because I heard it called, what was it, electric nutrition, and that's where my brain kind of went, should I be going down this road? But as soon as you talked about the benefits of being out there in the open spaces and
The green
the green
spaces.
spaces, I actually went back to that and I thought, okay, maybe it's something we've lost, that ability to kind of connect with the earth, or maybe it's part of that larger conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I know that for children, they love to play with soil. They love to make, sand castles. There must be a reason why, that makes children happy. So maybe it's something that we can research.
Hmm. Oh my goodness, I would love to be a part of that study. Does building sandcastles make you healthier? I would be a willing participant. If you want to do that study, I'm here for you. I'll be participant number A. Yes.
Okay.
That's number A. I'll be participant A. Thank you. Or number one at the very least. All right. Now, let's talk about some of the effective ways. In fact, what are some of the effective ways to prioritize self care when we have busy schedules and we have these competing demands on our time? For example, somebody who lives on the mainland and has to go and work on the island and leaves their home at, let's say, 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning and comes back 11 p.m. at night.
What can I say? I mean, that journey alone is so stressful.
Mhm.
But I mean, it's something that has happened, so you just have to face it. However, once you once it happens, there are ways you can take care of yourself to make sure that you rest from such exhausting journey.
Mm.
So you need to prioritize yourself, right? You need to take care of yourself. You need to take breaks. You need to rest properly. You need to eat well. You need to exercise, right? All these things come into play again.
So, for example, some of the practical ways that people can do it. I'm thinking if you are at an office desk all day and you spent like 3 hours in traffic, whatever, going there and then maybe going home as well. Some of the things you could do is on your break, instead of sitting down, you could take a walk around the office
The
premises,
office
right?
premises. Yeah, most like I mean, you get lunch,
Mm.
so that's not the time for you to just sit at your desk and eat lunch. That's for you the time to take a walk and just look at your surroundings, exercise your body because it's very
Can you
important.
eat and walk?
No, no, no. What I meant is, yeah, there's a lunch break for everyone, right?
Yeah.
So, say, for example, between 12 to 1. So, since you have an hour, take a walk. Leave your food on the desk or in your drawer, wherever you keep it. So, take a walk first and then come back and then eat.
Which can actually improve digestion, right?
Exactly. Or even go to the cafeteria, obviously, and eat your food there.
Okay.
So,
So take a walk, people. That's at least one thing you can do when you have a busy schedule. But then what about those competing demands for your time? For example, if you have both children and pets, what happens once you're done taking care of all of them?
well, when you are done taking care of all of them, you need to take care of yourself. Because, like I said, this is self care. So you need to take care of yourself first before taking care of everyone else.
So, for me, what would that look like in your opinion? In your medical opinion, let's say, would it be okay? So I've had an exhausting day. I went to work. I took that walk during my lunch break, but that's all I had time to do. Then I got into some traffic on my way back home, and then the kids came in and they were crying. They started fighting amongst themselves. Then one of them beats the dog. I finally put all of them to sleep. Now let's say it's 11 o'clock in the evening. Dr. Cassie has told me I need to emphasize sleep and I need to make sure I go to sleep on time and I have enough sleep. But then also, I'm not really feeling like I'm going, if I go to sleep now, that I'm going to have a good quality sleep. So, what would I do?
Okay, so if it's me, I'm going to take a warm shower.
Um,
Yes, and I have some bathing salts that I'll add, like lavender, because lavender helps to relax. And so I'll just take that bath first of all. Maybe spend 15 to 30 minutes in the bath.
mm,
Relax properly, right? And listen to music because it makes me feel good. Then afterwards, I would meditate for a while, maybe practice my yoga, right? And then afterwards, I'll get ready to sleep.
Okay, so I think that goes into like having a bedtime routine. And so that sooner or later, once the habit kicks in, then you can have an almost Pavlovian response wherein once you start the routine, you start to feel relaxed.
Exactly. But
Okay.
it's actually very good for you to actually have like a routine, consistent routine for sleep specifically. If you know that, okay, 10 o'clock, that's the time. So it's 10 o'clock, you should sleep too.
So, and that's one of the benefits of music for me. So, there was a point at which I actually managed to get myself on a sleep routine. We're trying again. But this was way back when, and I used to have this album that I used to listen to by Lena called Stranger on Earth, and I can tell you the exact song that I will always fall
Always
asleep
listen
to. I fell asleep to the third song, and that was it. All right, now finally to end the conversation, I just want to ask about this. So, how can seeking out social support and building strong relationships be an important part of a self-care routine? And then, what are some of those strategies for building and maintaining those connections?
Okay, so I mean, definitely, seeking social support is extremely important because it helps you to build resilience to this coping mechanism against stress. Because I mean, you might decide that okay, you are going to battle stress, but you always need people to support you, to help you. For example, I got myself an accountability partner because I know that I can't do it by myself, right? I need someone that okay asks me, have you done this? Have you done that? I ask the person to, have you done this? Have you done that? So we keep each other accountable. I know that yes, every day we are achieving our aim of self-care. Because so many things like you said can happen and then you lose focus, some other things come your way. But once you know that there's somebody out there that cares about you and most importantly is holding you
Will be
accountable,
demanding
you
results.
would. And of course, sometimes you can even have like a support group too.
Mm.
People who are into wellness, right? So maybe you have people who go to the gym with you, or maybe practice yoga with you, right? I mean, that's also, or maybe every weekend on Sunday you go to the park or something just for a picnic or something. So, or you take your dogs, you take them for a walk together. So all
Okay.
these things are very important to build the resilience.
Okay, building resilience. And we have come to the end of the conversation. But if people want to reach out to you, where do they go?
I mean, they can reach out to my Instagram handle,
Okay.
which is at Cassie Akinde.
All right, there we go. Thank you so much, Cassie Akinde. That's where you find her up on Instagram. Dr. Cassandra, the tropical doctor, and the doctor who is practicing self care. So She's the one telling you that there are amazing physical and mental benefits to practicing self-care. It's not me. Maybe you will listen to the doctor now. All right. Thank you so much for joining me for this half hour, and I look forward to having you back in the studio at some point later
Yes,
in your
definitely.
busy schedule. Hmm.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak about self care, and I hope that people can learn from, especially, the healthcare workers that are always busy and they're not prioritizing themselves. They're always
Hmm.
prioritizing their patients and the people surrounding them. It's very important to prioritize yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anyone else. So please and please and please, self care is extremely important. So please do go ahead and practice it.
Do good work for yourself. All right, that is that. Coming up, we've got great music. Steve Stonehuff will be in, and then at 10 past 6, you are going to be stunned with something fantastic. Make sure you keep it tuned right here on Smooth 98.1.
Smooth health on the drive.